but somebody who spent plenty of time on a college campus joins us right now, Jon Banzhaf. He's a nationally known public interest attorney, professor at George Washington University Law. He's down in Florida right now. How are the conditions down there in Florida, John, before we get into it?
Conditions down here are fine, but I'm not so sure about Disneyland on the Potomac, which is what we insiders call Washington, D.C. And by the way, according to a lot of articles, many of these colleges and universities pretty well knew that they couldn't really open up for in-person instruction in the fall, but decided not to announce that, or to announce it only very, very late, or to actually wait until things got started and then to switch over to what we now call Zoom University, because they didn't want to lose the tuition. They didn't want to lose the revenue students pay to live in the dormitories. So I hope your daughter is able to do better, but a lot of the schools, they've started up. Now they sent all the students back home. Many of them don't get their lease money back. Many of them are now paying almost full tuition to go to Zoom University.
Right, yeah, not almost full, as of now, full. Well, she did earn a scholarship, which is fantastic, and I'm proud of her for that. So,
congratulations.
I want to tell you something. A good friend of mine, really one of my best friends, he's a member of the New York Teachers Union for 30 years, you know, a real true union man, you know, and he just put in his papers and retired, so he's out, you know, outside the realm. He can speak freely now. And he sent me a text the other day. We were talking about diversity and stuff, and he said, this is why the left pushes college for all. They stack the deck with liberal teachers who brainwash a generation of students. And you say that many of these liberal campuses are teaching diversity, but only on sex, but not on religion.
Well, that's basically it. Many of them now have so-called diversity courses, and some of them appear to be more indoctrination than they are basic courses. People are required to take them, and they have titles like, for example, anti-black racism, which implies kind of one side of the story. It'd be like having a course on guns and say guns a major menace, or guns basic freedom. You get the idea that in either one, they're not just presenting the facts. The problem is that, yeah, everybody has courses on racism. And there's a new study now showing that with all the emphasis on diversity and inclusion regarding race, very little with regard to religion. And so most of the students are complaining that they don't get enough instruction in different religions. A test was given to many of the college students, and they all flunked it in terms of what they knew about other religions. And that's just reasonable because, you know, most university kids today, they know a black friend or two, they have a gay friend or two. If you live in the United States, you got to know something about black culture. My guess is many students don't know somebody who's a Hindu or a Muslim. They certainly don't know much about their culture. So at a time when we have a lot of violence directed against Muslims and also Jews, we're not teaching very much about religion. And yeah, most of the universities and the professors are very, very liberal. Also, according to a recent survey, many of my colleagues, those in the law teaching profession, also are much more atheistic, less religious than even other college professors or college-educated people of the same age group.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter is in a really good college right here in Staten Island called Wagner College. She's in the nursing program. And she said, Dad, I want you to help me with this project they gave me. And they were they had to write an essay on what they think the effects of, you know, illegal immigration would be, and explain if this would be good or bad for the country to have open borders, basically. And she said, can you help me? And I cited her all this stuff, how it will kill unions, it will lower wages, you know, it'll thin out the pool of employees. And she wrote a beautiful paper on it. She got an A- on it for a 4.0 student. And she said that the teacher made a number of weird comments after she handed in that paper. And since she's been in college, that's the only A- she's got. And I personally think that the teacher didn't like that she wrote a paper given the other side of the story with real facts behind it.
It may very well be, and therein lies one of the problems. If she's studying nursing, why are they quizzing her, basically asking for her opinion on things like immigration or the Israeli-Palestinian conflict or relativity? That, to me, is not part of nursing. If they have a history course, you can have objective tests or essays about what happened, but asking somebody's opinion on a controversial issue seems to me to be highly inappropriate, particularly in a nursing course. You know, they talk about diversity. We have to have different opinions. But if you're taking calculus, there's no African American integral. There's no feminist differentiation. In physics, there's no forces which are LGBT whatever. And when I was studying those courses, I don't want to hear from my fellow students about what they think about, for example, relativity. I want to hear what the professor says because he presumably knows what he's talking about.
Listen to this. Here's another poll she had to fill out. This is a nursing student. Is the level of income inequality too high, too low, or just right? And why? I don't know why a nursing student should have to know about this, but maybe some ethics or something to see how they judge lower income people or higher income people. This is the good one. When you work for a company, do you feel that you are being exploited, as Marx teaches? Why would they ask a nursing student something like that?
Sounds to me like very loaded questions where they're expecting to get one answer over the other. And if it's a totally anonymous poll, maybe it might have some relevance.
No, it's not anonymous. It's a questionnaire to start a class. You know, in the beginning, they're asking them, you know, where, I guess, it's not anonymous. The teacher is asking for this answer from each student. It's 5 questions. So it's not anonymous. The teacher's kind of getting a sense of where kids are.
I would be very suspicious of that because I think they have no business asking that of individual students.
Right. Here's number 4. Here's number 4.
I ask my students coming in, how many of you regard yourselves as liberal, how many conservative?
Oh my God.
But it's anonymous.
Yeah.
I get an idea, okay, 70%, 80%, whatever it is liberal. The other 20, 30% are conservative, or they believe in this, or they don't believe in that. But to ask an individual, no, that to me is very, very wrong. And particularly, again, in nursing, if it's sociology, on a topic where it's relevant, but not for nursing or
Question number 4 to senior nursing student. What do you think of Occupy Wall Street?
I'm not even sure how I would answer that question.
I'm just saying, but you know what they're getting at, right? They want to see if this person is sympathetic to the cause or against the cause. It almost seems like to me a questionnaire.
I can see with nursing, and they are asking it on an individual basis, so the professor can mark down whatever students disagree with his views or his philosophy, and there may be consequences. In fact, there's another survey that shows many so-called conservative students, those who identify themselves as conservative, say they are much more reluctant to speak out in class or to write essays for fear of offending their largely liberal professors
100%.
than, for example, the liberal students.
I'm seeing it literally firsthand. And back in 2016, I went to the Republican National Convention, and my daughters were Trump supporters. I bought them shirts that said "Chicks for Trump." Nice pink shirts, a cute shirt, right? And my daughter was at Seton Hall for 1 year, and she said, "Dad, I wore that shirt on campus. I thought people wanted to kill me." And she said, "I can't ever wear that again. I can't even let these people know I like Trump because they'll all hate me." So it just seems
she's
like...
She's lucky because we've had situations in many colleges where students wearing Trump or MAGA or whatever have physically been attacked, have had their hats at least, maybe their shirts, taken away from them, signs have been taken down, and that is the very antithesis of what should be going on to college.
Right.
Maybe Trump isn't very well supported on college campuses, but you've got to allow both sides to be heard, just as we should allow capitalism and socialism and pro-abortion, anti-abortion, pro-gun rights, anti-gun rights. All opinions should be heard. You debate them. The Supreme Court said the best remedy for bad speech is good speech.
Yep. And, you know, I want to thank you, John. We're out of time. You're always a great, fantastic guest, and your opinions teach everyone a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that's Jon Banzhaf, public interest attorney and professor at George Washington Law. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to come back after this with a little more Thirsty Thursday, and we're going to break down some of the news of the day.